Logan Paul, an interesting fellow. The man commits a blunder to his reputation on a yearly basis, it seems. I do think a lot of the drama on the internet does get exaggerated and taken out of context, but unfortunately for Logan, that's not the case. If anything, it's the opposite. There's two main points in this video. First being Logan Paul suing coffeezilla, which is a little bit ironic as there is a video of Logan saying this a little while ago.
But the fact is that suing coffeezilla is not going to help CryptoZoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be, which is on fans and supporters of me.
And the second point being there are lots and lots and lots of problems with Prime. But starting with the coffeezilla situation, remember that CryptoZoo scam that Logan got called out for a while ago and then apologized for? He said he was going to pay back the victims that lost their money and take accountability of the situation. Yeah, well, that didn't happen. Coffeezilla in his recent video goes over that Logan is only paying back a small section of the money people lost through CryptoZoo.
Remember, there are two parts to CryptoZoo, the NFTs and the Zoo tokens, and Logan chose only to refund the NFTs, which is a minority of the losses, and I had a major problem with that. I told Logan this, I've stated over and over my opinion that it is disappointing for someone as rich as Logan to not make things fully right, and instead only pay back a small part of the losses while fighting the rest of the victims in court.
It's a bit of a weird approach, I'll give it that. Say you're going to take accountability for the situation, but because Logan can't bear to lose his money because he's such a poor man, he decides to only pay back 1/9 of the money that people lost. That's the equivalent of saying you're going to give someone a whole pizza and then giving them a slice this big. I'm intrigued on Logan's thought process. He thinks rather than just taking the L financially and in return gaining a much better reputation is a worse idea than spending millions of dollars in legal fees and lawyers, damaging his reputation even more and hoping people will just forget about it. He thinks that's a better idea. Surely the peace of mind of paying the victims back in full is so much more rewarding than battling in court using lawyers that don't even like you and are only by your side for money. I'm no businessman, but $16 million for Logan Paul does seem like chump change.
In year one, we cleared $110 million in retail sales.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, excuse me. 250 million in retail sales.
Now, I did some very in-depth research. If Logan Paul owns 20% of the shares in Prime and the company is valued at $1 billion, which is on the low end, 20% of $1 billion is 200 million. Logan only needs about 20 million to pay these victims back. Sell 1% of his shares in Prime and he's got 20 million to pay back the victims and still a 19% share in the company. Sounds pretty good to me. But all of that is fairly old news. The more recent stuff, however, is that not even 24 hours after coffeezilla sent a message to Logan Paul about problems within yet another one of Logan's companies, or he co-owns it, coffeezilla was sent a lawsuit by Logan Paul's legal team.
Did you know 6 days before the lawsuit, I had featured Logan Paul in a teaser for a video? Did you know 21 hours before the lawsuit, I had texted Logan for comment? Did you know I told him he had 24 hours to respond, and Logan sued me 3 hours before the deadline? Yep, that's right. Logan's lawyers then threatened me in that lawsuit email that if I report on this new story, Logan might hold me accountable.
Seems like Logan is getting a little bit nervous about what's going to happen to him. He states that he thinks this lawsuit was rather to scare him and not actually win the case.
And Logan's definition of accountability seems to mean he'll sue me, which is why I believe this lawsuit was not designed to win, but to shut me up, to threaten me, using Logan's wealth and a federal court system without anti-slap to send a message. Do not tell that story.
So Logan is now a liar. Oh, don't sue me, you fucking bitch. He said he was going to pay back the victims for CryptoZoo and hasn't. And he can't bear for coffeezilla to expose another company he's involved in. So he decides to hide behind a wall of money and suits. The problem is with this situation, since the dawn of time, people have always valued money over morals. And if coffeezilla can't conjure up the cash to face a legal battle with Logan, then he's kind of fucked.
Legal battles are expensive. And in the world of money, he's got me beat. So he can try to silence me by weaponizing the law. He can sue me for doing my job. He can sue me for asking questions, and he can sue me for asking for refunds. But it's going to backfire because I think it reveals Logan as a bully rather than someone who's truly sorry.
That is the literal real-world definition of pay to win. However, coffeezilla did mention there's a couple of ways you can support him in his case against Logan, by joining his Patreon or buying his merch that he's just released. Weirdly enough, no, this video wasn't sponsored. I'm only saying that because because I don't know if I have to. But if you want to support Coffeezilla in this situation, I'll leave the links in the description. I have left a few things out, but if you want to know the full details, go over and watch his recent video. However, this is not where my video ends. As I said earlier, Logan Paul and KSI, let's not forget. I much prefer JJ to Logan, but he does own the same 20% in Prime. Well, they've been facing some lawsuits of their own. And also this video needs to be 8 minutes long for the extra ad revenue. I'm all about transparency on this channel. Regardless, all of these problems do come from different news articles I just nabbed from Cavos' new video. Cheers, mate. So whether or not the information is 100% true, I'm not too sure, but they are real articles. The first one being fairly light. False advertising about Prime Energy. They were advertising their energy drink to have 200 milligrams of caffeine in them.
10 calories! Boom! 0 sugar! Boom! 200 milligrams of caffeine!
But the people filing the lawsuit claim that they have more than 200 milligrams of caffeine. Now, personally, I wouldn't be complaining. I'll take every ounce of caffeine I can get. But I do see the legality problems of the situation. People do try to make the argument that Prime is advertised towards kids because of Logan and JJ's audience. However, it is an energy drink. You have to be a certain age to buy it. Therefore, if a kid below the age requirements buys it, that's the shop's fault, not Prime's.
Oh, but their advertising is to my kid and he likes them, so it's unfair that he can't buy it.
Shut the fuck up. It's the same thing when people say they don't like what their kid sees on YouTube and then say it's Google's or the government's fault. No, don't be like Logan and take some actual self-accountability. It's your child. There's plenty of tools and ways that you can restrict the content that your kid watches. You just decide not to because you're a lazy piece of shit that blames everyone else but themselves. If my kid were to fall over a set of steps because I wasn't watching it, I can't just go to court and sue whoever built the steps. It worries me how people think like that. A more interesting lawsuit that Prime has faced is that of the US Olympic Committee. They allege that Prime used Olympic-related terminology and trademarks on product packaging, internet advertising, and in promotions featuring a Prime hydration flavor and athlete Kevin Durant. So Prime have took it upon themselves to use Olympic-related things to advertise their own drink with no sort of deal. I tell you what, there are some real clever people working at these big companies. Making a Team USA Kevin Durant drink whilst the Olympics are on doesn't seem like the smartest play. There's a bunch of big technical words here, but it basically means Prime have had numerous requests to remove any Olympic association from Prime and aren't doing anything about it. Very good stuff, guys. Prime is currently ticking all the boxes to get sued. The last problem the Prime boys are facing is that of a $68 million lawsuit because they breach a contract. To summarise, because we don't like big words and sentences around here, Prime cut ties with a company they did business with called Refresco, while still owing them a shit ton of money. So Refresco do the bottling production, or I should say they used to do the bottling production for Prime. And when Prime was doing really good last year, they ordered loads of bottles. But what they didn't take into account, no one cares anymore. So yeah, they've now realised that in order to sell something and get returning customers, you have to sell an actual decent product and not just market the absolute shit out of it. I'm no financial advisor. I don't even know if you can do this, but if I were Logan Paul or KSI right now, I'd sell my shares, take the 200 million or however much their shares are worth, pay everybody off that I've ever had issues with. I'm looking at you, Logan. Maybe donate a good chunk to charity and invest in some AI index fund or some shit. Or maybe they could just give the money to me. That would be really nice.